Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Unfiltered World podcast show. As you speak, you can find us all over the internet and you can find us on all the streaming platforms. I'm talking Spotify, I'm talking YouTube. You can go there on YouTube and you'll find us. You can go to Amazon, you'll find us on Amazon Podcast. And sadly, we are not yet available on the Apple Podcast. We are not there yet, but we are hoping that sooner or later this podcast will reach more people on Apple. So, what are we talking about today? Today we are talking Women's Month, right? As you all know that we have been taught morals. Every child, regardless of whether you are white or black or Indian, it just doesn't matter. Every child has been taught one thing: morals in life. So I've noticed that today's youth, you know, they don't have morals. So what they do, or what are they known for? And it's wrong. I'm not, encouraging this kind of behavior towards women. It's just, uh, it's just, it's just stupid to even, it's just stupid. Today's men, they have lost all the morals, all the morals. They have no shame to a point whereby they have this ability or this tendency, if you may call it that. It's a tendency, the tendency of, you know, just, it's just the tendency of beating women. So today's men, they have this tendency of beating women and they have no shame, not even a glimpse of, you know, the glimpse of feeling sorry. They have lost everything we have been taught in the 90s. I was born around the year 1998, right, January 17, which was a very good year. I'm proud to say that. I have no shame about the age I am at. In fact, it's a blessing. So um, yeah, so let me get over that. Now, I'm just disappointed. I hope this podcast, podcast number 10, does reach as many young men out there, as many as young women out there, so that the aim is to teach and educate, to pass over, the morals we have been taught over the years, the simple things such as respect. You have to be able to respect women, respect other people, respect yourself, cherish women, cherish everyone you come across, make new friends, talk to everybody, don't be shy, don't be that guy. Do you know that most serial killers, they always act strangely. They usually indoors, they usually feel intimidated when it comes to women. Such things. It's just stupid, right? And I'm not saying it's stupid. It's just an so it depends on which culture you come from. But I'm just trying to limit or eliminate such behaviors of which I do not tolerate at all. Because where it start, where does it start? It starts when men, they feel threatened, when it comes to women, due to fear of approaching women. If you love a woman, if you like a woman, or if you have feelings for any woman, just tell the woman, go there, approach that woman, talk to her. Do not force your way into her, talk to her. Let her decide. Do not decide for her, right? That's the lesson I'm trying to teach. Talk to women if you feel you have something, if you feel like you have, you know, love for her, if you love her, if you like her, talk to her. If you want friendship, talk to her. Do not be stupid enough to a point whereby you are now a stalker. The moment you become a stalker, that's where the problems begin. The moment you beat your woman, that's where the problems begin. The moment you have no shame of talking stupid towards your woman to a point whereby you are using a vulgar language towards a woman, trust me, my friend, one day in future, fast forward 25 years later, the things you have done in your 20s, not because you are used to those things, you will do the same things on your wife. If you can't respect your girlfriend, how can you respect a wife? You won't be able to do that. You won't be, trust me, you won't be able to do that. So, the lesson that I'm trying to preach or teach right now is, as a young man, try by all means to understand the language of respect. If you love someone, respect that someone to a point whereby you are confident enough to face that individual, that woman. Tell her how do you feel about her. Do not force your way into her. Remember this one rule in life: a forced love is no love at all. It turns into what? Into abuse. It's no longer love because it is forced, right? Same as friendship, same as everything else in life. The moment you decide to force it, then it will turn into something else. It won't be the same thing, therefore, you won't be able to value that thing the same way as you would have if you didn't force it, right? It's just simple as that. Those are simple life basics. Okay, now the context is the context is simple. Happy Women's Day, after all, people. Happy Women's Day. TW here. TW here. I got you, baby. I got you. So, uh, okay. Women's History Month, right? Or March is Women's History Month. Okay? Women's history is our history. That's number one. It's the story of organizers, educators, creatives, students, mothers, educators, leaders fighting, leaders fighting for justice and equity, right? This month we celebrate the women who proved, who paved the way, and the women building what's next. What's next? Women are building the life that everyone enjoys. Women are the life we enjoy. That's what's next, right? Women are the stand, the poles of everything that we enjoy in our lives as men. We enjoy the benefits of having a woman around so that they can show us when we are doing wrong. They can come and correct us, right? They can be there to cherish us. They can be there to give us children. They give us everything in abundance, but then we lack we lack simple things such as valuing those things. But what do? We often compare ourselves with the women. But let me ask you this question: which man or who, in fact, um, should an opportunity comes when one man can volunteer to have a baby inside his stomach for 1 month, I doubt there would be anyone who would volunteer, right? That's where the problem starts. Even if that tiny opportunity dares to come for one man to have a baby in his stomach and wait for the next 9 months, in order to give birth, none of us would. I, for myself, I wouldn't choose that option, right? That's the hardest option. Imagine I, as a man, having a child in me. I can't do anything. I can't. I can't drink alcohol. I can't party. I can't. I can't do anything. It feels like a cage, It feels like a cage. I can't do anything. I feel like I'm trapped. But somehow, women, they have the ability, the strength, the patience that no man could ever have. Wait, it's like a whole year, 9 months of being pregnant, and soon after being pregnant, there's no break, there's no lunch, there's no nothing. They have to go through the following years of nurturing, teaching, guiding, disciplining, educating, becoming everything, on in that child's life. Raising a child is no child's game. It's very hard to raise a child. It's very, very hard to raise a child. It takes a man who has balls to raise a child, to become a good man enough to raise his own child, a man who do not run away from his own child. Not only his child, but the baby mama included. Right? So what I'm saying here is respect women, and this is a Women's Month. In South Africa, we respect women and we cherish women. So on the 8th of May, uh, on the 8th of May, right? Let me go check. I don't wanna talk. I don't want to talk something that is not right, right? So, when are we celebrating Women's Month in South Africa? We celebrate Women's Month on the 11th of May. No, that's Mother's Day. So we celebrate Women's Month on. Yes. I'm right. It's on the 9th. It's on the 9th of August. We have Women's Day, and then on the so that's the 9th of August, right? The 9th of August, we are celebrating Women's Day, and then on the 11th of May, of which this is the month, of May, we are celebrating Mother's Day. On the 11th of May, we are celebrating Mother's Day, right? So there's a difference there. There's a difference. So that's why I got so confused, right? Please do forgive me for that. And so so how about how about we dive into this topic more? It seems so interesting because it is so interesting, right? So it's a shame that in South Africa, a study found 33.1% of women aged 18 plus, right? So this means they are more than, right? Oh, no, excuse me. That is age, right? So let me start over again. In South Africa, a study found 33.1% of women aged 18 plus approximately approximately 7.3 million experienced physical violence and 9.8% faced sexual violence. Now, if we can look at those figures, 7.3 million, those, like, I'm talking about like 18 years, 18 years, like from the ages of 18, 19, 20, and 21, I guess, around those ages, because it's 18 years plus. Approximately 7.3 million experienced physical violence and 9.8% forced sexual violence. Now, we have to question ourselves as men and say, uh, is it, like, are we going on the right direction? Like, that's a whole population. 7.3 million, that's a whole population being violated one way or another, of which more of these women, they always faced what? They always faced abuse. And then the majority of these, they always face what? They always face sexual abuse. Is that the right direction we should go? Or are we going on the right direction? So it's it proves what I'm saying right now, that today's men have lost all the morals that we have been taught in the 90s, when a man should learn to respect, cherish, love, and care for a woman, importantly, right? Love, caring, cherishing, caring, right? Simple. Life is made up of simple things. But if you have, you know, but if you have no manners at all, you won't be, you won't be feeling guilty, or you won't be feeling what I'm saying. You won't feel what I'm saying, right? You'll be, you'll feel like I'm boring and stuff, You'll feel like I'm boring and stuff. I do understand. I am boring, alright? I'm boring. But the moment you get out of your way and beat up your woman based on the fact that she has cheated on you, she has cheated on you with other guys, then you decide to beat that woman up and you decide to kill that woman and make up all the stories and excuses about it. We don't care. We just don't care about you. The favor that we can do is that, call the cops and you can go chill out there in prison. Maybe your mind will be fixed a bit, because right there in prison you're gonna find tough men like you who are gonna be showing you what does a tough man, should, do. The moment they say pick up the soap, man, bend over and pick up the soap, you'll pick up the soap and something else will be shoved on your ass. Big time, and you'll learn the lesson that you should have learned a long time ago. That if you do fuck around in life, life itself will fuck you up and will fuck you up good, man. It will fuck you up good. So, you'll be fucked either way by doing things that you shouldn't have done because you have lacked the ability to think before you act. A man who has no backbone is always proving himself by doing stupid things without even thinking. So, don't hate me, man. Don't hate me. I'm just a man, just like you. But the problem is that I'm a man who have morals, who values other people's lives. That's how I was raised. thanks to the mother who raised me. She taught me well, and undoubtedly I will teach my own children the very same lessons I was taught, so that I can raise a man, not cowards, not killers, not, you know, men who have no morals at all in life. So now another thing is that prostitution, drug abuse, and substance abuse, women, they often, you know, do drugs not because they want to, not because they like to. Yes, some they do, but it's not always the case. Some they even pretend like they do, but it's not always the case. Until you find, until you go there and sit down with that person, you will find out that, that individual is going through pain, or that person is hurt at some point. Because, yes, money is everything in life, just like, by the way, it doesn't matter how you do it. We are selling ourselves one way or the other to the next person. So how is it so different, or how like how is it so different to women who are in the business of prostitution? It's so different because the part of morals is not there, in quotation marks. But I am not saying they should be judged for what they are doing. You do not know what they are going through. Therefore, it's not your part to judge what they do. Why am I saying this? The question is, why are you so bothered? What bothers you about what other people are doing with their own lives? Whether they smoke, or whether they doing prostitution, or whether they doing drugs, or whether they partying all night and forget the next day, and then forget everything about life. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't concern you. It's just life. We are all addicted to something at one point. We are all addicted to one thing, to something actually. Some they are addicted to Netflix, some they are addicted to phones, some they are addicted to porn, some they are addicted to, everything else that is wrong. Some they are addicted to pride, some they are addicted to pride, the sense of, perfection, the sense of feeling that I am perfect. So how does that fit into this context? Now think about this. Women, they are, women, they are facing hard times in life, in a way that they even, you know, they even end up behind bars, not because they want to be, not because they want to end up behind bars, but picture this life. You are a, you are, firstly, you are unemployed, poor, have no family, even if you do have family, but what happens when your family, casts you away from, from the rest of the family? Now you have become this black sheep, in the family. Therefore, no one likes you just because you have a child, just because you have a child at a young age, or just because you have, you know, lost your virginity at a very young age, or at a very inappropriate age, you know. But due to rape, sometimes some they, some they lose everything due to rape, some they lose everything due to, abuse, some they lose everything due to what due to secrets in the families. A pastor can impregnate a child from the church, and then the church, what they will do, they will try by all means not to expose the church or the pastor of doing the wrong thing. So who gets to suffer? It's the same woman. Now, the very same woman who ends up having a child, not working, facing a difficult time at home, and then she decides, you know what, I can't let the circumstances force my child into the life I have experienced. So I am gonna volunteer and sacrifice everything for my child for the child to have a better future. Now, sacrificing for a child can become or can be, you know, can be uh, explained in in multiple ways. Uh, those ways they include prostitution for the sake of survival. Some of those ways they can include being a being a stripper, dancing in the nightclubs for rich men. I am not condoning those acts. I am just speaking because those are some of the truth that no one is confident enough to face and talk about it. In fact, very few podcasters who have the ability and the guts of talking to, of talking about such circumstances in life, but they are existing, they do exist. You can see other people, they even go and do shoplifting just because, they have no other ways of, you know, facing life. A child is starving, and the bond of parenting, a mother to child bond, that kind of bond in fact, it's quite a very, very, very strong bond to break. That's why in South Africa, women are being allowed to have children and parent those children behind bars. Allegedly, they are allowed. I've just googled right now. They are allowed to raise children behind bars. Why are we doing that in South Africa? It's because we do understand the bond between a mother and a child. We do value that bond, and we do not want to raise, families who have no bond at all. A family without bond, that is not a family, friend. That is not a family. But that's another problem waiting to happen in future. As soon as the child grows up and that child finds out that her mother wasn't there when he was young, that could create a new problem, a problem that we are facing today, a problem of teenagers who have no morals at all. Now, let me get back to this point. Whether your mother is or was a prostitute when she was pregnant, that shouldn't bother you as a child, but be grateful that you have been born. You have been raised by someone who sacrificed everything for you to survive. If it wasn't for that sacrifice, maybe you wouldn't even be existing. Some, they were raped and they decided, you know what, yes, it is traumatic experience and it hurts me deeply, but be grateful that that mother decided to carry you instead of aborting you, because it was all up to her to do that, right? But she didn't do that. Why she didn't do that? Simply because, like I was saying before, a mother's love is something else. No one can explain it Only women can explain it. It's something else. So now, picture this. After all those sacrifices, your child becomes a man now, and then the very same child decides, you know what, I'm a man enough, I've grown enough to beat the hell out of my mother. I can beat the hell out of her whenever I want to. Some children, they even go to a point whereby they even rape their own mothers. Now, how can you explain that? Your mother gave you life, sacrificed everything. You grew up, on the other hand, you beat your mother to a point like you don't care. You have no shame at all. You have the guts of beating her up like she means nothing at all to you. Do you call that life? Do you call that morals? Do you call that a future? If you do, what kind of future is that? Or what kind of future are we headed towards? Is this conversation worth it? It's up to you to decide. If you are listening to this podcast, please leave everything you are doing, sit down, pay attention, because one way or the other, it does affect the entire community, it does affect the world, it does affect everyone around us. What I'm saying, what I'm talking about. So, as I was saying, women, they do go through a lot. They go through a lot in life. Now, as a child, whether your parent was once a prostitute, that shouldn't be bothering you. Be grateful. Whether your mother was at some point doing very bad things, remember that your mama did everything for you to survive. Therefore, you should be a good man. Respect, cherish your mother, because as soon as she is gone, you'll feel like you shouldn't be, you'll feel like you should die too. You'll feel empty. You'll feel lonely. You'll feel like the earth itself doesn't care about you. Then what? You'll be depressed. If you did care. But if you don't care, you wouldn't care at all. You'll just go on with your life as if nothing has happened. Why? Because you don't care. And if you don't care, most likely you will become a thug, a criminal, someone who is uhlupho emphakathini, someone who has no morals, no value, no direction in life. Now, do we want to raise men who has no value in life, men who has no morals in life, no respect, no courage, no nothing in life? An empty-minded man can do things that no one should be experiencing in life. I'm talking like this because I'm a man too, and I'm not excluded by any means on this topic. I am talking because I have to talk, because no radio station is talking about it, no podcast is talking about it. So my podcast is your podcast. We are talking everything unfiltered here. We do not shy away from things that causes us to go nuts in our communities. If you do experience what I'm talking about, please do comment. And if you can relate, please do comment. I will answer in advance as soon as I get to see your message in time. And if I didn't see your message in time, rest assured that I will reply on your messages in time. So imagine growing up without a parent. That's it, right? Most of us in South Africa and all over the world, but this reality is so big in South Africa, like it has become a trend. Growing up without a parent, growing up with a single parent, sometimes it becomes unfortunate to a point whereby you don't know who your parents are because you have never seen your parents at all. One day there was this, article that I happened to come across, on Facebook, if I do remember, whereby a child, a young man, somehow ended up impregnating his own biological mother without knowing, simply because he had never known his mother. That's a tragedy. But I'm not there today. I'm just saying. So, most of us grew up without parents, right? I even saw Kanye West on Instagram today. He was, but it was an old video. I don't remember that song, the name of the song, but on that song he spoke about losing his mother at a very young age. He lost his mother at a very young age. So for him to heal, he decided to write a song in good memories, cherishing the love, good times they had together, the friendships, the laughters, the love, everything, good or bad. You know, that quickly reminded me of Tupac. When Tupac was seen or was labeled as a thug, a criminal, someone who has no feelings and no shame at all, just because he was black. But then there was this track when he explained that why he carries a gun and why he should be carrying a gun. He explained, quote, and I quote, he explained on that song, he said, if you can find that song, please do go to Spotify and listen to that song carefully. He explained, he said, how can I not carry a gun in a community or in the world whereby you can't be killed at any point by people who you trust or who you should be trusting? And those people are police, the struggle of the black man, right? So anyway, I'm not there, I'm just highlighting, right? And then he goes on to another song he wrote, Dear Mama, the first version, and then the second version, celebrating Mother's Day, right? Celebrating his mother, right? And then Luther Vandross gave us another song, you know, about his father. Like there are many more people. Even Akas Asina, I even heard Akas Asina that, at one time, at some point in life, he was so close to his mother. If I do remember very well, he was so close to his mother. Like his mother, he was everything to him, right? That's how we feel. That's how responsible men are being raised. We get to, we get to cherish. We get to feel love. We get to feel loved when we are loved. We get to express love in many different ways. They get to express love in Songs. If you are creative enough to write songs, you can write a song. If you are creative enough to write poems, you can write a poem. If you are creative enough to write a script and turn that script into a movie, you can do that. But only responsible men can do that. A man who decides to run away from his own family, that is no man. That's a boy. A man who impregnates a woman and decides the following day, I no longer want this lady just because she has lost the shape, she has stretch marks, she has this, she has that. Why you didn't see that before you impregnate her, and now you have left her, you have abandoned her just because she has a child now and some stretch marks. By the way, I love stretch marks, right? I love stretch marks. It shows the purity of women, right? Stretch marks, they shouldn't be something we see as this bad, ugly thing. No. Often, most men who see women like that, those are, the type of men who are addicted to porn. Women, people who are able to judge women based on, their physical appearances. It shouldn't be bothering you whether women have stretch marks or not. It shouldn't be bothering you whether women are fat or not. That's not your problem. So why are we turning, things that shouldn't be problems into problems? Why are we doing this? We shouldn't be doing this, right? So, without explaining too much, or without talking too much, by the way, this episode is based on one thing. We are celebrating women here on this podcast. Today, on this episode 10, we are celebrating women, and we are, by all means, we are talking to each and every individual. We are talking to everyone, right? So, now, as I've spoken about the judgment they face, it often pushes them to the edge of either killing themselves or feeling bipolar or, doing drugs and other things, right? Now, just because a child has been lucky enough in life to find a man who is capable enough or who has funds to marry your child, you shouldn't judge other people just because they were so unfortunate in life that they couldn't find the same man who has the ability to marry them. Just because ingane yakho ishadile akusho lokho ukuthi omunye umuntu wesifazane ongakwazi ukuthi ashade ongashadanga kumele ukuthi abukeleke phansi, right? And same thing applies when you as a man happen to fall in love with a woman who can't have children, and then you're gonna say that woman is worthless. By worthless, I'm saying you are now comparing and judging that woman with other women who can have children. That's wrong, and that's wrong, totally wrong, unacceptable, right? Yes, it is right, 100%, no doubt. So, just because your child, your children, your girl child, happened to be smart enough to graduate in school, happened to be, this extraordinary, so important enough in such a way that everything she does, everything they do, your children, they go to school, they graduate, they have better jobs, they're doing this, they're doing that, everything flourishes and everything is blooming, And now you have this pride of being able to judge other people and compare them to your children just because your children's lives are going smooth and they have no hardships. And then you go there in the public and then you lose yourself to other people just because a minor mistake happened. Maybe a tea, a waitress, you know, maybe a security guard, anyone, maybe even a prostitute. You came along, you came on the same road, on the same direction with a prostitute, and then you decide to curse this prostitute or you curse that waiter or that waitress, and then you speak, those harsh words towards those people, and then like you don't care at all and you show no sympathy. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're pointing fingers. Everything you do revolves around you, comparing those people who were unfortunate in life with your fortunate children in life, and that becomes wrong. What kind of a parent are you? What kind of a person are you? You as a parent, you as a people, you as a person, you have no morals at all. I wonder how you have been raised in life, and to being able to do that. You can't do that as a person, whereas as a woman. And it's so, very sad that like most women who have been in a situation whereby they have been kidnapped. Uh, Mostly women are there. Mostly women, they are there, and it's usually friends who are doing that. Friends who are living a double life. That's why you shouldn't be trusting anyone you meet or anyone with your life. You can't trust anyone with your life. Most importantly, as a woman, don't let a man buy you a drink. Don't let a man buy you alcohol. Do you remember the story when two sisters or two siblings in Johannesburg, if I do remember correctly, there was this other man in a club who happened to bump across to these women, you know, and he decided, you know what, I can spend 10K on these women, and then after that, I can take them to my crib and have sex with them just because I've bought them 10K worth of alcohol and fun on the same club, right? And so it turns out these two siblings allegedly, the plan wasn't there. The plan was just to drink alcohol and go home, have fun. But this guy, he has other plans. And those other plans, they included sexual, what? Sexual favors, right? He wanted to have sex with his two siblings, but then the plan, you know, the plan fell. The plan fell apart. And and what happened after that? This man, when these two young ladies, they were headed back to home drunk, not aware of what is happening, what could happen, you know this guy, he came, and when he came, confronted them with one thing. Sadly, their lives were lost on the spot because the guy had a gun, and he decided, you know what, I have spent 10K on these women and I can't have them. So there's only one way, and that way is to just kill them on the spot and, you know, carry on with my life. And yes, I will go to prison. And when I am in prison, I'm going to live my life the way I want to live my life. After all, they are dead, and I have lost 10K of money on alcohol and fun. So Yeah, the story is like that. You can go to Google and Google story. You'll find the story. You'll find the whole story there, and uh, yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Yeah, it's sad. So now the question is how we should be treating women. Women should be treated with care, love. Show love to your women. Show appreciation to your women. Show the level of respect that you always show on the 14th of February. Buy women gifts. If you don't have the money, at least be there, spend time. But if you are a hustling boyfriend, you better hustle good and you better hustle the right way, not the wrong way, so that you can be available, so that you can be available and spend time together, cuddle, you know, small things such as opening a door, buying flowers, and tell your woman how much you love that woman. Tell that woman how much you value that woman. Tell that woman how much you appreciate that woman. Simple things like that. Tell that woman how much you feel for her. Tell that woman how much difference that woman has, you know, made in your life. Tell your woman that if it wasn't for you, I doubt that I would have became the man I am, or I could have achieved, you know, everything I have achieved if it wasn't for you. Yes, I am not perfect, but I am not trying to be Dr. Love. But if I can become Dr. Love, then why not? I am Dr. Love. Why not? I mean, like I am the plug. I am the plug. So I'm trying to plug you. Either way, whether you call me Dr. Love or what, I don't care. So at the end of the day, we should be able to treat our women, cherish our women, show some love, show some respect, cherish those women because the moment they leave you, they will leave you, and you will see from that day that life without a woman, life without a lady is as hard as you know as trying to bend a whole steel on your hand. You just can't bend a steel with your bare hands. You can't. That's how life is. That's how hard life is. That's how life is. And it's very hard without women. Trust me, believe me, it's very hard without women. It's like living in a cage. It's just like even dogs, they can't live without women. Imagine. Dogs, they can't live without women. Chickens, they can't live without women. Animals, they can't live without women. It's a club, they can't live without women. Nothing can live without women. Even aliens on Mars, they can't live without women. Nothing can live without women, right? So the moment you decide, you know what, I'm not that kind of man who can appreciate, I don't appreciate, I have pride, I can't appreciate women. Women, they should, bow to me. You know what, my friend, your pride will be the death of you one day because you will lose everything. You won't be able to have family. And a man who has no family is as good as dead because what's your function? A machine who has no function, does that machine worth keeping? No, it doesn't worth to be kept. After all, what value does it bring to me? Each one bring no value to me, so why keeping it? It's a waste of time. So remember that, guys. I'm your host, and please, I hope you do enjoy this podcast show and you get to find value. If you do find value, please subscribe on Spotify and on other streaming platforms. I can't wait to hear from you. Your opinion is more valuable than anything in the world. I am your host, Tabisa Wiseman Zulu, all the way from Durban, South Africa. Stay tuned for another episode, and forgive me for jumping this much. I have a very big schedule. Like I have everything, I'm doing everything all at once. So for now, I am, a one-man show because like I'm still studying. This podcast is still new, so I'm trying to, do everything all by myself. So it becomes like it's a lot of work actually. I know I have promised you that we're gonna be talking about feminism, but yes, we will talk about feminism. I'm gonna drop those 2 episodes, and those 2 episodes they are tied up on that episode. That other episode. I guess it was episode number 9. No, episode number 8, right? So it's gonna be a continuation of the same topic. The only difference is that I'm gonna be, I'm gonna dive in deeper, on this topic, and I'm gonna have like a guest, and I'm gonna try to bring more value and more research and more effort to these episodes, just like I'm always doing. I'm gonna put in more work, more work, and hopefully you do, and you will appreciate everything I do and everything I am trying to do. And in as much as I do value you and respect you as people who are listening, and I've seen that the numbers are growing, and thank you for that, and I do appreciate you. I'm trying to build a family here, and I'm trying to build a community with this podcast show. I know there are people who have, paid attention and listened to me in America, and Americans, I do appreciate you, and South Africans, we are family, baby. We are family, baby. I do appreciate you in as much, and have a nice day, people. Have a nice day. Thank you for everything you have done for me. And just know I do appreciate you a lot. Bye bye. See you on the next episode. That's episode number 11 and 12. Coming to you very soon this weekend.